I'd like to introduce Celia from Scotland, who has cancer. Welcome, Celia.
Hello.
Could you tell us your story?
I'll try. 5 years this month, I was diagnosed with inoperable non-small cell lung cancer. And they believed that I would only live for 6 months. But they would give me palliative chemotherapy to treat any symptoms I had and a bit of radiation. So that's what happened. And that went over a matter of weeks. I didn't have anything long term. After I'd had that, I went into a sort of remission, which surprised them greatly. But I was told right away that it would come back. You know, don't forget that this will come back. And so I thought, I've got to do something. So I searched about on the internet, and I don't really know how I found LDN, but I did. And maybe something I've typed in with cancer and it's come up. I thought this really interested me because I'd looked at other protocols, but I liked the science behind this one. So I approached the GP, who immediately, the first one wouldn't prescribe LDN, and I gave it a week, and then I went back to the second one, and he would prescribe it for me, because I think he thought, well, I've got nothing to lose, and I'm not going to be here for long, so why worry about it? And so he prescribed it for me. And some of the nodes in my chest came back up again a few months later, I would say. But ever since then, they've been stable. And I've had scans every 6 months. And they've always been stable, no active disease. And I had a scan just last week. And it was the same. It was stable mediastinal disease, that's what they called it. This is, as I say, 5 years this month now since diagnosis. And I've sort of gone a bit further on than I thought I would, in 5 years, in fact.
So what does your GP say, or your oncologist?
They always say it's a miracle. My GP has said it's a miracle. I can't believe it's a miracle. And the oncologist, the first one I had, he knew I was taking LDN, but I didn't know if the second one did, the new one. And I only met him the other day, and I didn't dare mention it, because I was frightened. He wrote to the GP and said, stop it. And when he went out of the room, I said to the nurse, I didn't like to say about LDN to him. And she said, Celia, he knows about it. They all know about it. They all talk about it in the meetings.
So when was it you started the LDN? How long ago?
I was diagnosed in the May, and then it would be, then I was, as I say, I went into sort of remission. Then the nodes were coming back. I would say about 10 or 11 months after the chemo and the radiotherapy. The reason for that was because I had a hip replaced, and they didn't know what they were going to put me on, you know, if they were going to put me on opiates and stuff. I had the operation, and then about 10 days after it, I thought, right, now's the time to start. And that's what I did. And I've never missed it. Been on it ever since.
So did you have any initial side effects when you started?
Just a few dreams, quite vivid, a bit of sleeplessness. That soon went, a couple of weeks, I would say. And even now and again, I'll have quite a good dream. But that's about it, really. Nothing else. No, nothing at all. Liver, everything's always come back fine. Blood test.
Where did you have your prescription filled?
Well, I said to the doctor, I can send them to Dixon's because it's cheaper. And he said, you don't worry about the price. We do. And he said, just take it to the chemist and let them send it wherever they will. I think it's Martingale that do it for me. But the problem was, you see, I'm on a repeat prescription. It would be difficult because I've got quite a lot on the repeat prescription. To say, well, you just give me this one every 3 months or something. I've just confused them all down there. And so I've just let it be. It's easier to just let it be. I got a few spares off a friend of mine who uses it and dilutes it themselves. And I got a few spares just in case they ever said at the doctors that we can't give it to you anymore. Because I suppose it's quite expensive the way I'm getting it.
What would you say to other people with cancer who are contemplating trying LDN?
I would say to them, get your tumour burden down. You know, you probably need to use conventional methods first. And then, but I would say use LDN at the same time and keep taking it afterwards for the rest of your life, basically.
What else have you noticed, Celia, while you've been taking LDN?
Well, I had IBS quite badly, And that was the thing that I noticed immediately. That was wonderful. The spasms, the bloating, it all stopped. I've been on LDN about 4.5 years, 4 years anyway. I've had about half a dozen flares in that time, and that's only lasted a day. And I was on drugs for lupus. I had mild lupus, and I went off them altogether. And I don't take anything for that at all, and it doesn't affect me anymore. So it's been a bit of a miracle for me, really.
Is there anything else you feel you should add?
I just feel that I should add that LDN should be offered to cancer patients. You know, they should have the offer and the chance of it. And I think that there should be the doctors, if the doctors were more educated about it, they would prescribe it as easily as they prescribe amitriptyline, which is off-label for pain and such things. And so I think they should, you know, what's the big deal about LDN when it's so cheap?
That's right.
And so I think more education for them all. You know, if somebody could go around to the hospitals and to all the oncology groups and things, the oncologists could then push for it if they were given the information and were convinced. I would love it if Dr. Zergan would come and talk to them.
Thank you for sharing your story with us, Celia, and being such an inspiration for other people, and also for all the work that you do in helping raise awareness of LDN.
Thank you very much.